All right, Sandy, good to be here. I'm Audie McGinnis from Unspoken Tradition.
And what do you do for them?
Cause trouble mostly.
Yeah,
I play guitar and sing.
You got a mighty fine voice before we go any further.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We'll get that out of the way right off the bat.
Make me feel all bashful right here off the top.
Well, it's, I know you don't cause too much trouble because I've had Ty on here, I know.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did one.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember as a kid learning to play guitar, and I'll never forget Darren Aldridge telling me, he said, man, everybody and their mama can play guitar. If you're going to ever do this seriously, you're going to have to learn to sing. And next thing I know, I'm in my bedroom with my guitar trying to figure out how to do it, you know. So it was.
Well, I mean, obviously you learn how to do it because you do it well.
Well, you know, you sing in the car, you sing in the shower, you sing in the kitchen, you sing everywhere.
Well, it's like anything. You got to practice it.
Yeah.
You get there at some point.
Absolutely.
And you're from Cherville, which has its fair share of good musicians.
Yeah.
And, you did your time. A lot of my listeners know, but a lot of them don't. Tell them about the bomb shelter.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much lore around the bomb shelter that I'm not sure if I'm going to give you the official story, but I'm going to give you my version of what I've heard. So there's a guy that my dad kind of grew up with and knew named Jack Bingham. And Jack has been really plugged in to the local music scene for a really long time too. But he has on his property there is a Cuban Missile Crisis or maybe Cold War era bomb shelter just dug into a hill and on his property, and they have a Wednesday night bluegrass jam down there about every week, unless they've gone to the beach fishing. That's about the only one time a year in October, but every Wednesday. And there have been a lot of great musicians down there. You know, you can, for the people that have been down there, you know that the wall is covered in signatures and people's names. And he always wants you to leave your mark when you come in for the first time. And you walk through there, and I mean, you see some names. And I've seen some people down there that didn't maybe sign the wall. It's got a lot of history. I mean, the guys in Syndicate, Darren and Brooke.
Brooke still goes.
Oh yeah. Darren's down there all the time when he's not on the road, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Stacy Watson's taking Doc down there. Doc's name's on the wall. You know, it's pretty cool. It's a good place. And some weeks you go and there's not much picking, and it's just kind of an old liars club, and that's okay. And then some weeks you show up and there's 27 banjos and guitars, but you know, and you got to almost split off. But it's great. It's a good place. I definitely cut my teeth in there and had some good pickers along the way show me some stuff. You know,
I mean, that's what you have to do, and that's how it works.
Yep.
I mean, but everybody don't have that. You know,
no.
Well, a lot of places you got to go to YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you want to learn something. But we live in an area that is rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Music.
Yeah, we're blessed. We
really are. I mean, there's incredible.
Well, and I just think about like what my life would have been like if I had not grown up where I did and had the people to kind of usher me along on this path. And like I said before we started, that sometimes I wasn't even fully aware of who was helping me and when they were helping me or how they were helping me. But the more we've done this, like the puzzle pieces have fallen into place, and I just realize now there are more people than I could ever think that have put us where we are, you know, and it really does go back to that bomb shelter for starters. I mean, it's such a sense of identity for me, you know.
I can see it. I mean, so many people that's part of their identity, you know.
Yep. You know, Jack's he's not a young man anymore, but his son has already said, like, I'm taking the torch. It's going to be, it ain't going nowhere, you know. I'm not saying, you know, he's still a pretty spry guy, you know. But I think Chad wants to take it as far as it can go. So it'll always be there.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good. I guess your brother learned to play banjo there a bit too, didn't he?
Wait, he learned to play? When did he learn to play?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I forget where we're at. I forget we're at Durham Scrubs.
No, Daddy got Zane a banjo when he was about 7 or 8, you know, and I'd been playing for a couple years at that point, I think. Maybe a couple years. So I guess my dad, he he had the plan, and it's so funny.
I remember your dad.
The first Martin I ever got. So when I was about 12, I think, I got a little Stratocaster, a Squire Stratocaster, for Christmas, a little starter set. And Dad showed me a few things, and then I started messing around with it, And he said, I want to buy you a Martin. I'd love to buy you a Martin, but I really want you to lean into bluegrass and all this, And I was interested, but I was still young. I mean, I still listened to all kinds of music, it's all over the place. And as a younger kid, like I loved that stuff, but I was gravitating more toward rock at the time,
Yeah, of course.
But I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of got involved really just for the really good acoustic guitar, but we went down, you remember Vern Berry, Vern?
I know Vern very well. I play an upright bass that Vern sold me.
Everybody around here does. either him or old Shuffler. Everybody, they've supplied half of North Carolina, man.
North Carolina bluegrass instruments came from either Vern Berry or from Shuffler.
We went to Vern's, and I remember my mom had been driving around this old conversion, one of those big like Chrysler conversion vans, had a TV and a drink tray in the back, and the back seat folded down, the whole thing. But it was on its last legs, and we drove that thing down there, and I picked a couple guitars, and I found the one I liked, and we kept talking and couldn't meet on a price, and but we were about to say goodbye, we were standing on the porch, and my dad, completely joking, says, "Man, I'll give you that van for that guitar." And Vern stops in his tracks, and he looks at it in a minute, and he walks around and kind of kicks the tires. He said, "All right, let's do it." So we had to call Mama, and we were like, "We need you to come pick us up."
He really gave it.
We tossed him the keys, and I walked out with a '76 Martin D35, man. And so I was invested. And Daddy was like, "Man, I wasn't going to get anything on a trade on that thing anyway. Let's just get a guitar." And I've still got that guitar to this day.
Oh yeah,
but
how could you let that go?
It's got too much of a story just for me,
That story, I know thousands of stories. I've interviewed musicians forever. That's one of my favorites.
It was just, I just remember standing there like, oh man, and then Vern starts scratching his chin, and I was like, wait a minute, and sure enough, and my mom pulls up and she's like, "What have y'all done?" And that's when Daddy said, we weren't going to get $1,000 on that trade, so it worked out, and I never looked back, man. Oh man.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh man. So obviously you learned to play bluegrass once you got that.
Yeah. Went down and hooked up with Darren, and he was giving lessons, and I guess he still does.
Did you take lessons from Darren?
Yeah, I'm a student of Darren for sure.
Darren can play.
He sure can.
He can play a lot of stuff.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, and that was always the fun part too. When I got to the point where he could grab a mandolin and we could actually it was more like picking,
Yeah.
But I mean, and even that, getting the lessons to that phase, even that kind of thing. What are you teaching? I mean, I'm picking up how to play with another person and accompaniment, and he's a great teacher. Teacher.
When you find a good teacher, that accelerates your learning. Process.
Mm-hmm.
You can take from. I had to take piano lessons when I was a kid. I just memorized the stuff.
Yeah.
And then my teacher started changing around. She went to my mom and dad. "He just memorizing this stuff. He ain't reading no music." And so I was like, "Yeah, okay." So,
Wow.
So I mean,
you do what you got to do.
You do. I hated playing piano.
Darren brought guitar to life for me. I mean, And I mean, but watch the guy play. I mean, I can still watch him stand on stage and play, and it moves me, And here I am, this 12-year-old dragging this Martin in that's as big as me, sitting there with it up, and he's showing me the way,
Darren's a good guy. I like Darren. Darren's been nothing but, nice to me over the years. He's a good guy.
He's a mentor for sure.
Yeah, he is. And anyone that can get someone to play in his band and just chop a mandolin with no chords is all right by me.
Oh, Brooke brings her gifts for sure, man.
Oh, listen, when you can sing like that, you can do anything you want to do.
Yep. She's holding an instrument because she wants to.
Yeah, exactly.
Her voice is her secret weapon for sure, man. She's great.
She's got as good a voice as you'll ever want to come across, particularly bluegrass voice.
Man. So.
It's so how'd you wind up playing with the people you're playing with?
Well, so when I came home from college, there was a summer there because I was an education major. So I had a summer to kind of come home, get me some employment and everything else. And in the meantime, I was kind of enjoying like my last summer off, before school started back, and I was going to be a teacher now and not a student. And Blake Putnam, who cut hair downtown, he was a high school buddy of mine, and Lee Shuford. The three of us just kind of started playing together. Lee had a dobro and Blake played bass. And it's funny because when we were growing up, me and Blake played in some little groups growing up, and me and Lee too, but Blake was never interested in bluegrass. And so as we grew up, he got really into it. And so we decided to form a bluegrass group. Well, we needed a banjo player. Well, my brother, Zane, had not picked up his banjo in like 10 years. He had laid his down. And I think he saw what we were doing and wanted to be a part of it so bad. It was like, and he's sitting around for the summer too. He's still in college. So he's sitting around with nothing to do. And it's like 10 hours a day of him like getting his chops back. And then the next thing I know, he's the best picker in the band. And
he's great.
But we did that for a while, and then we went to Nashville. We joined that competition at Spigma, the band competition.
Exactly.
And there's like a bylaw in those rules there that if you're a 4-piece band or bigger, you have to have a mandolin.
Right, yeah.
And we didn't have a mandolin. And it's funny, like listening back at my rhythm playing early on, I was trying my best to put something like that sounded like a chop in there. And now I don't have to do it, you know. But we were looking around to see if there was somebody we could just get as like a hired gun to come in, you know. And at this point, Blake was no longer in the group, and we had another bass player. But we go up there. I called Darren, and I was like, man, we got to have a mandolin player. We've already paid our entry fee and everything, you know, and we want to come up there. And he said, I know a guy. And it was Ty. And so we dragged Ty to this thing, don't know him, you know, nothing. And we got up there and played. And I mean, we did okay, you know. We didn't come close to winning it. We just wanted to go and do it, you know. And at the end of it, I think our bass player at the time was like so impressed by Ty that without even talking to any of us, he was like, man, you're hired. You want a job? And then like on the back end, I was like, I agree with this, but like, don't ever do that again. Because what if we didn't, you know? But you know, and Ty's brought his own gifts to the band. And I mean that not just from like the musical side of it, but I mean, he knows the business side of it too, and he's a vision guy, and he really I think he took us from like just a bunch of boys that didn't ragtagged whatever, he straightened us out, man, you know.
Ty's a real good man. I mean, he's really
he taught me how to be a professional, you know.
And he is in every sense of the word.
Yep.
I interviewed him. I went to the studio. He treated me like a king, man. He took me through everything. Then he set me up with John. Mm-hmm. You know, he said, you need to talk to John. I talked to John.
John Weisberger?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
John's got a great story.
Mm-hmm.
50 years old before he ever went to Nashville, and they made fun of him for doing it. You know, it's too old, man. And so, well, I'll show you know. So, yeah, it was great.
But yeah, we've been, that's kind of how the band formed, and we've had a couple personnel changes. Is like babies were born or jobs changed, you know. But the thing is, we're all still family men. We're all still working men. We all got full times, you know. And this is, I mean, we're as busy as I think I could handle without doing, you know, rearranging some life stuff. And it's great. I mean, we're, you know.
And I think if you can continue to do that and not have to give up your day job,
yeah,
it's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
I mean,
well, and I'll tell you this, you know, during COVID, we were on, I kind of brought it up one time, and I was like, guys, like, it kind of feels like we're on the cusp of something. Like, should we push into maybe full time, you know? And we talked about it, and some of us were more ready than others, and it wasn't something that was going to split us up. You know, if the time wasn't right for everybody, we weren't going to do it. And then COVID hit, and I watch all these musicians just get parked at home, and I just remember thinking, like, thank the Lord that we did not make that call when we did.
Right.
Because, I mean, most of us were able to keep our jobs and do something to stay on a payroll, you know. And I'm watching guys that are some of the best musicians I've ever known play for tips on Facebook Live. And it just, you know, I felt for them. did what I could to support them, but it was always like a reminder to me, like, man, that 401k and that health insurance and everything else, and just being able to keep your lights on when something like that happens, you just don't ever know. So I'm not saying that I would never go full time again, but that definitely kind of illuminated some things,
Trey Hill, I don't know if you know him. He's from Shelby.
Oh yeah.
He played with Bob. He played with a bunch of people. He played with Kelly Clarkson and also Nashville. So when COVID hit, he was done. There he was in Nashville, and he said, "So Kid Rock was the only person who would hire downtown. He'd pay you $50." He said, "I could be making that in Shelby." And he said, "I got my $50 on the first job I played down there, and I was walking down the street without a mask on. Cops stopped me and fined me $50."
Really? He ended up breaking even.
Yeah, so he left. He lives in San Diego, California.
I mean, I like to go to Nashville, but man, it's a big pond. It's a big pond. And the way things are now, I mean, I'm not besmirching anybody that wants to go and do that. You can walk in any bar in that town and hear the best musician or best band you've ever heard until you go to the next one, and now you're listening to the best you've ever heard. But the way things are now with the internet and everything else, you don't have to go to Music City to claim a little stake there. It's things are changing, So, and I think you do better in your own market. If Nashville is not your market, because like everybody, everybody and their mama, and they're all just filthy players, filthy singers. I don't want no part of that.
It's like there's bums there that can play better than I'll ever play.
Listen, I'm proud when I can go to the Station Inn and play a couple 3-chord Charlies. I'm not, exactly. That's another level. That's another level.
There's another level without a doubt. I mean, it's really crazy there, But I'm gonna look at Dirty Grass Soul. They do pretty well and staying home, kind of.
And now they're doing soundtracks for hunting wives.
Yeah, I know when they did that, they had no idea how big that was going to be.
I know, right? I know. So, what do you think of the Scruggs Fest?
Scruggs Fest is great.
It is.
It's a good venue. You played the other ones. If it rains, you're not getting muddy.
No. That is, the concrete is a plus here.
It sounds good here.
Yeah.
I mean, I played Merle Fest. I played here. It sounds great.
Oh, this is every bit on the level of Merle Fest.
It is.
I think, and
the lineup's good.
It is, and we were slated to do the very first one. And then it got postponed again because of the big event, And then I think the first year we played it, it was kind of like it. I don't know if this is how it happened, but I'm assuming it got pushed back so long because of COVID that there were some artists that couldn't keep their commitments, But I mean, even that year, the lineup was incredible, and this year, I mean, man, I came to play just to see Allison,
Did you see the Wood Brothers last night?
I heard. I didn't get to see it.
For everyone, but geez,
they're fantastic.
A guy who can play the drums like he does and the keyboard and sing.
I know.
And then Chris Wood might be the best bass player
I can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And these guys they're multi-talented. Yeah.
So what all y'all got lined up coming up?
Oh Lord, I don't even know, Sandy. We're so busy. I couldn't tell you. We've got. I know we got to go up to Pennsylvania. There's a small. I can't remember the name of it. A festival up in Wellsboro. I know we're going up there. We've got a couple things in North Carolina, and it's actually like the first time in a long time we've played some in-state shows. This summer we were in New York twice on 2 separate occasions. We were in New York, we were in Pennsylvania twice. We were all over the place. But
I saw y'all were busy this summer.
I know we're doing October looks pretty good. We were playing at the Don Gibson.
Yeah.
I do not remember the exact date, but anybody that follows us on social media or goes to unspokentradition.com can probably tell me when that is. But I know we got the Don Gibson in Shelby, and never played there. I'm excited about that.
It's fun.
And then we've got the Outer Banks the Bluegrass Island Festival, and that's going to be a good one too. I think we're going to we rented a house this time, and man, we're playing on Friday, and we're going to get out of there and go fish all day after that, and then on Saturday I'm coming back. My guitar ain't even coming. I'm coming to watch Dan and Ricky, you know. But it's it'll be a good festival too. That's a good place. But yeah, we usually wind down around early November until the new year. Sure. You know, so many holidays and family stuff, and
it's bluegrass, and you know, bluegrass is the big time is the summer.
Oh yeah, totally. That festival circuit's everything.
Yeah,
it's everything.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Also, I see every once in a while you do a solo.
Yeah. I'm still, at the Dragonfly. Yeah, the Dragonfly Lounge. But we, I don't know. I was just looking for a way to branch out, you know, and I sit at home and I can play and sing some stuff. I've got some stuff that maybe doesn't fit Unspoken Tradition, you know, and just some stuff I kind of wanted to get out there for public consumption to process. And I also play a lot of covers and, you know, whatever, but I do a little songwriting that maybe does not quite fit what we do with UT. And so, yeah, I went to talk to Jamie, and he hooked me up and gave me a little spot, and came back about a month and a half later, and, you know, it was fun, man. A little local crowd, and some of my friends and family came out.
I totally agree. I mean,
it's a whole different thing. I've never played on stage before by myself until then.
It's hard by
yourself. Yes. And I'm like, man, they're going to hear everything.
They do. And that's the bad thing about a solo performance. It's the hardest job in the world.
You just got to keep going.
You can do it good. The guys, John Prine, he was great by himself. You know, Paul Thorne's great by himself.
Yep. You're either iconic or nobody even knows you've done it.
That's another thing too. You sit there and everybody's having new conversations. Well, they don't hear a word. Sometimes when I'm done, I'll sit there and I'll make up lines like, I know there's not a goddamn one that listens to me, but I'm playing anyway, you know? And I'll just keep on going. It's like, you know, I've changed words to songs that everybody knows just to see if anybody's playing attention. One guy came up to me and said, that's not anything near right words to that. And I said, well, I'm glad you was listening.
It was a test. You passed. You passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It was kind of cool to get back on the court square at Shelby too, man. You know, the first gig Unspoken Tradition ever did was at Ham's down by the bridges. Yeah, and so I was walking through here. I hadn't been here 10 minutes, and I cut back behind the Foggy Mountain stage right there by the front gate, and here comes Crystal. I hadn't seen her in like 12 years, and I run over and hugged her neck, and I said, man, how are you, you know? But yeah, we started out at Ham's, and then we ended up playing at Pleasant City, and then we went down the street to New Grass, you know.
Crystal told me one time, she said, yeah, I saw Ty was on your show. She said, I booked the first show they ever.
Claim to fame.
Yep.
Claim to fame.
Claim to fame.
That's what Zane, he said, I guess you're not working tonight. I was going to stop in there and get a pizza and a beer on the way home. She said, not tonight, I won't be there. But you know, I think back about even like the music scene down there now, but even like growing up as a kid, going to Leatherwood, that comic book store, that was a legendary place too.
Oh,
it really was.
Too,
and I mean, I remember going there, and like Mom and Daddy would want to go, and there'd be like Syndicate would be there, or was it New River, Dean Jinks, and all them. And Horace Scruggs was in that band. But I remember we would go down there and see some shows there. I would take my guitar and stand out there at the pool tables and play with like the Forest City Boys and Leonard McSwain and all these dudes. And I'm looking back now and I'm like, you know, that was a special thing too.
It was not only that, he had, you know, a lot of the, at the time, hot current bluegrass bands in there too. I mean, he had just about everything.
Where else are you going to go see Syndicate where, I mean, you're sitting in church pews and it's like there's a popcorn machine and it's like, well, that's true.
It's
a whole different environment.
Exactly. It's not that long time. You can't put
I never actually made it to Green Acres. I was a little too young, and I think Mom and Daddy knew, like, he ain't ready for that.
I will tell you that I am proud that I both went as a listener and I got to play there too.
Nice.
So, you know,
yeah.
It's kind of, you have highlights in your life, and I didn't give it a thought at the time, but then when it was gone away, I was thinking, God, man, it's the same pole barn that everybody else.
You don't know what you got till it's gone, man.
It was really, really great. I had Michael Daves in here, and he was talking about they have a pole barn down there, and that's what Sean Camp told me today. He said, no, Brian Thompson. He said, I went to Green Acres first time. He said, I didn't know what was getting into. The guy said, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I know Steve. And then he said, he saw my shirt and he says, well, King. And so, it was a great place.
Did you ever see Duck Butter down there?
Yeah, I did.
Daddy told me, he's like, man, Sam Bush comes out with this red Stratocaster. And I'm like, what? You know?
I want to tell you something else. You know who else was in that band? Duck Butter, who was with him? You seen the Dylan movie? The Bob Dylan movie?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, you need to see it because the guy who plays the organ on that, on like a Rolling
He was
Stone,
in Duck Butter?
He was in Duck Butter.
Okay.
He's founded a bunch of bands. He was there. And it's like, I went over and asked him about playing on that record. And he said, yeah, but he said the only reason it happened, he said, I was trying to get on that session, but they had Paul Butterfield. He's way better guitarist than me. But he said, I snuck back there, and when the song started, I was just back there. And he said, I played that organ part, and when they ran it back, Bob said, turn that organ part up. And the producer said, no, man, that boy ain't, no, he can't play organ. And he said, turn, and then that was the iconic part of that thing. But he said, the organ was on. You've been around a Hammond, you have to turn it on like 3 places.
Yeah.
He said, had it not been turned on, I couldn't have
done it.
I didn't know how to turn it on. So he said, sometimes you're just lucky, man.
That is funny.
I saw that, brother. Yeah. So, yeah. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Man.
It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's good just getting to chat.
It is. Well, I appreciate you coming to do it.
Yes, sir.
We've been working on this a bit.
Yeah.
Well, we got
I tune in every now and then when I got time, you know.
We got it done, so that's good. Again, I thank you for doing it.
Yes, sir.